Welcome back to another video, guys. In today's episode, we are going to continue the transformation on my E46 M3 coupe. Those of you who don't know, I bought an entire parts car, an E46 M3 convertible in Alpine white, just for this reason, just to get the body panels off of this car. This entire front clip came off of this car, and this disgusting front clip came off of my coupe. I haven't had this car for too long, and I've been trying to get this car basically back to stock and as nice as possible. So luckily, we found an entire front end and front clip. Now this car is starting to look better, and last episode we changed over this entire door pretty much just to get this mirror and just to get the actual paint match door. So everything from this car is starting to look a lot better, and the vert is struggling. The vert is getting all my trash parts, but it's okay. I'm going to sell this car for pretty cheap when I'm done with it. It doesn't really have much value, and I don't really think what I'm doing to it affects the value really that much. So in today's episode, the game plan, I still need to take off this mirror. So this mirror will be transferred over to my car. This mirror really doesn't have any damage. It's just strictly for this glass. The glass on that mirror is perfect, and this one is starting to get pretty worn and faded. So first game plan is to swap over the mirrors, and then we're gonna move into the interior. I need to take this steering wheel airbag out and swap it with the one in my convertible. It has a pretty disgusting badge on it and some ugly carbon fiber trim. You can see there's quite a bit of wear as well. So I also have a very bad rear view mirror, and this car has the nicer oval one. Glass isn't in that good of condition. It's missing the little blinking LED bulb, or not the bulb, but the housing for the bulb. So we're gonna take this. That mirror will need to be rebuilt, but it's better than having the square mirror with whatever fisheye lens is on it. Those two mirrors will be taken over. We'll be swapping the airbags just because this one has a perfect one. I have plenty of spares, but why take my spare if I could just swap them out and then still keep all my spares? If all of that does go well and doesn't take me entirely too long, I do have a Dynan muffler to swap out. Right now I have Rogue Engineering, but the Dynan is a little bit deeper and I think will sound pretty good on this car. If that doesn't take too long, we do have the new wheels sitting here ready to go. I got brand new tires and wheels in an Apex box under those seats. That's the game plan for today. So let's go ahead, start disassembling this passenger door, move on to mine, and swap those mirrors out. I don't feel like playing musical cars at the moment, so I'm currently trying to do the least amount of work as possible. You really just need to disconnect this front to get space to literally just unplug the connector. The connector's probably right here, and that's it. Just take the wiring harness out. It's 2 bolts for the mirror. Unfortunately, this is really not working in my favor. There's too many aftermarket wiring harnesses in here for the speakers, and the plug is at the bottom with like 3 aftermarket cables in the way. So looks like I'm playing musical cars after all. This is 100 times better. Now we can actually open the door and get some work done. There was no way this was getting done inside the actual door panel. I had to remove the module just to actually see what was going on. I had to flip this module over just to actually see what was going on, and this plug is broken. Still gonna take it because we need the mirror, but definitely was not gonna get done inside the actual door panel. Just the setup, we got a moving blanket on the rocks to protect the door panel and my knee. Ah, man, I need a new center console. Coming soon, but let's go ahead, start assembling this door panel, get this mirror out of here. The mirror isn't really in bad condition. It's just a little bit loose compared to the other one, and the glass is definitely not in the best shape. So we're just gonna end up swapping the whole thing. It'll be easier, and I don't want to mess with the glass. I really don't want it to break. The mirror is on the coupe. Now coming back to the convertible to put my old mirror back on. This mirror is definitely a little more loose, has a couple little nicks and paint chips, but it's nothing really serious. This is not really necessary, but both of these clips broke. They are so brittle. I'm in the middle of gluing mine on, and I'm gonna re-glue this one just so it's there. Super easy process, kind of a pain just for something so simple, but at the same time, it's really like a 30-minute job with everything included. So just gonna let mine cure up a little bit on the plastic clip. I'm gonna do the same with this one, and then we'll plug in the mirror, and then we will be on to the next. Side is all complete, door panel is back on, mirror is clipped and bolted in. Flashing forward once again, we have the door panel back on the vert. The mirror is back on. looking a little shabby. But coming over here, we are in the middle of this. Also, it's literally so simple, but I didn't know how to do it, so I had to use a little YouTube video. Literally just twist the mirror off. This one was already missing the plastic trim covering. It's literally one clip. This one doesn't have automatic headlight, so it doesn't have anything right here. It only has one plug. My coupe has two. This is the mirror out of the convertible, and you can see the glass. It looks like it's got a coffee stain on it, so we'll be replacing that. But it actually has a very good housing. It's literally perfect other than just the mirror. Mine, out of my coupe, has not seen very good days. So we are just gonna throw this back in here. Plus the visibility in the convertible is terrible. So maybe this might actually help. And then we'll put this in my coupe. 0 days since last injury. Cars are now back in the garage. Side mirrors are swapped, door panels back on, everything back assembled. The rear mirrors are both swapped and fully assembled. Mine looks a lot better now, but that glass definitely needs to be swapped, so that'll be coming in the future. For right now, I'm gonna go ahead and disconnect the batteries, swap the steering wheel in this car, and then switch the airbags. My car has a huge mess of aftermarket wiring for the sound system, and of course it has some weird battery terminal that you can't get a socket or a wrench on it. So I'm gonna disconnect basically right here. Same thing for the convertible. Come over here, and this one is actually accessible, but it has a massive subwoofer in here that really doesn't even work. So we need that airbag. We're gonna go ahead, disconnect the batteries, and swap them out. Just like that, airbag is actually out of the car. It's just these two little spring clips right here. You just put in a flathead through the backside and press in those clips. Here we go, gonna put this one back in, and we successfully obtained a actual good condition one. And then this will live in the Ricer E46 M3. It's not a perfect steering wheel or steering wheel trim, but it's way better than before. This wheel is in a lot better condition. I think I'm just gonna clean it up. It'll probably look a lot nicer. So much better having this airbag, and this trim is actually part of the actual steering wheel, not ripping apart. I swapped out this bottom screw because it didn't have a spring on it, and the one I pulled out did. So just swapped over this real quick, and then now we have that spring. Everything's in here. Horn feels good. Everything clipped in properly, and now we have a much nicer wheel in here. One more thing we got done today is I fully assembled this. I just switched a couple things from that car. So now we fully have everything intact. The actual lining is in there. Even swapped out some of these for the nicer ones. This was missing the little furry Phillips bolts, so I got both of those. Put this in here. Now we have the handle. Everything is actually complete in its actual space. So that was another come up, something small, but something that actually makes the car feel a little bit nicer. So now we have trunk fully assembled. The steering wheel is fully swapped in. Put these down. Hey, I'm getting fresh. E46 M3 coming along. So now we have a much nicer steering wheel in there. Looks way better. Actually have a way better mirror in there. Now I'm gonna go ahead and take the interior light out of this one, or at least the bulb, put it in there because mine doesn't work at all. So a bunch of little things being swapped out, but it helps because I don't have to go source all of them at the junkyard or try to buy them. Now we got fresh mirrors on this car. This car is actually coming a long ways pretty quick, and luckily this parts car has everything that we pretty much needed. Miniature surgery. The one in my car has these boof LED ones that aren't even working at all, and the Vert actually had the OEM ones, so we're gonna swap these out real quick so mine are actually functioning. And this video is all over the place, but once again we have another thing we are swapping out. This beauty cover, this one is in much better condition, and that badge is actually nice. Mine is so faded, so we're gonna take this one and put it in the coupe. Successfully swapped over the beauty cover. Looks a little bit better in here. That needs to be addressed. All this needs to be cleaned up. Still quite a bit of work to go, but the car is starting to look a lot better. So just to recap, we have the side mirror, the rear mirror, fixed the lights, fixed the trunk lining, swapped the steering wheel. Now we did the engine bay little piece. Only thing really left is to do the dead pedal, and I think that's it. I don't think I have much left to scavenge. I'm pretty sure that's it. Says we have the OEM panel. We're missing Looks like one of the clips right here, so that's a little unfortunate, but these are pretty expensive when we're talking about used. I think they sell for like 150 to 200, so I'll take it for free. If I need to replace it in the future, I will. Dang, this thing's actually starting to come together. Now we have the actual dead pedal in there, and we got the actual LED lights to work. I ended up swapping them back because LED is much nicer and it actually works now. So the bottom dead pedal one wasn't working at all, so I got that one to work. The light is oversized and didn't fit. I was able to do some mad scientist work, get it to fit. Same thing now, I got that one to work. The rears work. So now when you actually go in and out of the car, we'll wait for them to turn off, and then we'll open the door again and you'll see. Now we open the door. Bam! Now the actual door registers, turns on the lights work. This interior is starting to come along. It's the simple things, man. This literally is so much better. From the door to the mirrors to the little interior pieces, the front end, it's literally starting to come together, finally. This car has finally kind of become what it's supposed to be. This is where I would have wanted the car stock form, but now it's kind of fun. You get to do this. It's more of an actual learning experience, getting to do this, learning all the stuff that I haven't done before, and it's a lot more rewarding now that I actually kind of had to work for it. But this car is becoming actually nice. Dang, that's crazy. Someone literally bought this car and has got exactly what I have right now. I just had to do all of this just to get a normal car. Anyways, now we got to go ahead and throw that one back into the vert. There's really nothing left. The dead pedal, I think, was the last thing I wanted to take. I want to get some stock wheels just because I want these tires. I'm still trying to figure that out. I think I found a few sets, but I don't want to put something too ugly. Unfortunately, all the wheels that are for sale right now are kind of ugly or overpriced. So I need to find a happy medium and put something kind of generic on here. Or I need to go get the tires mounted for the new wheels, and maybe I'll just sell this car with the Apexes, with these ones. Not too sure. I don't think it would look, it'd actually probably look a lot better. It might even sell faster. So we might throw these wheels on here. Typical Friday night, got some progress being made. We dropped the Rogue Engineering muffler. Hangers are a little crusty, but everything came down pretty good, pretty easy. So now let's go ahead, swap over the Dynan one, and I guess let's see if we even like this setup. Only thing is that exhaust is way lighter than the Dynan box. Man, that thing is literally like probably 10-15 pounds, and this Dynan one is probably like 30 or 40. Not happy about the weight change, but it looks nice, and I think it sounded better on the vert. This car is pretty high pitched. I think this will tone it down just a tiny bit. Let's throw it in, see it. If I hate it or I don't like it, I'll just put this one back in. So it's only a couple bolts, it's not that long, but now doing it with the wheel off is a must. You can get to those bolts so much easier, so definitely take your wheel off. So go ahead and throw the Dynan one back in. It's going to be a pain to line it back up, but let's go ahead and get it done. The exhaust is fully on. I'm not sure how I feel about the black tips, but I went for a little drive last night. Really doesn't sound too different, but I do enjoy it. Not sure what I'm going to do. We have the extra one right here. Probably just hold on to it for right now. I'm about to wrap up this episode, guys. I'm going to throw in a little bit of a clip from the other day. Went on a little road trip in the E39 M5 for a little bit of a business deal. It didn't end up going through, but I'm going to throw in those clips here and give you guys the full scoop, and you'll be seeing that now. Welcome back to another video, guys. In today's episode, it's a little bit different. We're gonna be going outside the city a little bit. I got a friend that lives about an hour and 15 minutes away. We're gonna go pay him a visit. Not sure if I'm going to film or not, but today's episode is more just like a little bit of a vlog, I would say. So I'm trying to scheme up something. I'm trying to get what I've been talking about and I haven't shut up about in almost every single video for, I don't know, probably a year or two. I'm trying to make something happen. So we're taking the E39 M5 out. This is my first time really driving this car since owning it. I took it to the exhaust shop, which I regret because it is too loud. I thought this would be great, and nope, I regret it. So we're gonna make an hour and 15-minute drive. We got our beautiful Silverstone interior, looking quite fancy. Paint looking great from a certain angle, and then bam, zoom in and see that wonderful clear coat failure. We are currently in the town. I just got off of the makeshift freeway. Man, this thing started stinking. I smell like YSL and gasoline now. The cat delete, man, this thing stinks. I thought it was a great idea in my head, and then you do it, nah, not such a good idea. We're about like 2 minutes away. It was a nice little drive, a little switch of scenery, basically all uphill mountain pass, and now we are in a territory that I have no idea about. So we're exploring, seeing what this trip has in store for us, but definitely not my choice of housing. But I know this place is really under development, and they have some actually really nice neighborhoods and houses that they're building. So this is definitely probably going to be somewhere that comes up quite a bit more in the future. But it's a good little experience. Got a little change of scenery. We'll just call it that. That'd be my house for sure. A bunch of junk BMWs outside. From Tweakerville to E39 M5 to must be nice. Definitely not used to this. So I didn't film much while actually being there, just catching up, talking. All right, we're making our way back to Vegas. We are going through the middle of the desert. So no point in keeping a secret, at least anymore. I did post that on the community post or whatever it's called. There's a Imola red E39 M5 with Imola red interior, my exact dream spec that I am fiending for, and that's desperately the car that I want. So there's one at Copart. It's clean title. It's definitely got some worrisome details and some worrisome things that are on the car. So I was just curious, and I hit up a few of my friends, and I asked someone that has been in the car industry and knows a little bit, well, not a little bit, a lot more than I do. And I asked him, I was like, just curious if you've ever purchased or bought something on Copart, and ended up talking, and he ended up saying, we talked about the M5, I showed it to him, blah, blah, blah. He was like, oh, yeah, I'll just buy it and use the drivetrain. I'm like, wait a minute. I was like, oh, just don't destroy that car. I was like, how about I just give you reliable Big Bertha and give you some cash? And he was like, you know what? He's like, that's not a bad idea. And basically we came to the conclusion that I'll give him this car, money on top, and help him basically destroy this car and part it out. Not help him mechanically, but help him get rid of the parts and the rest of the car that he doesn't want. So that was the plan. He's like, oh, just bring your car by and we'll check it out. So pulled up to his house and let him look at it. The car's a little bit rougher than I expected, and a little bit rougher than what he wants and is willing to. He said they'd rather just pay more for a pretty solid car and better drivetrain. He'd be taking this motor out and completely rebuilding it, and a lot of the stuff isn't available, and mine has quite a bit of random leaks. Looks like it needs quite a bit of maintenance, but it has some good bones, and it's good for what it is. But for him to fully take this engine out and rebuild it to put it in an E38, have an E38 S62 6-speed with a M5 diff, I'm pretty sure it's not gonna happen. It's like 99% sure it's not happening, but it was cool. It was a thought. It was something possible, but it's not the end of the world, because Imola red M5 looks quite rough. It looks like it has clear coat failure. Looks like the interior is ripped, cracked, very dry, wasn't taken care of. The mileage says it's not actual. Says it has 96,000 on the cluster and on the dash, and then I ran a report on it. Said it had 96,000 in 2007. Car has now 106,000, but from 2007 to 2025, it's driven less than 10,000 miles. That's very worrying some. The car has a rear bumper, but rear bumper broken, so was in some type of collision or something ran into it. My idea with that car has been sitting for probably the entirety of the time. Really, it's only been driven 10,000 miles, so it could have possibly been stored in someone's garage and they just decided to take it off the road. It was a weekend car, they took care of it, whatever the case is, but it definitely had to sit for some extended period of time to have the clear coat failure, interior dry out, start cracking, or it just switched ownership to somebody that just neglected it. So I'm desperately trying to get an Emola Red with Emola Red interior. The only ones that have popped up for sale have been like 30,000. It's just out of my range right now. So I'm trying to figure out anything to make it work. I posted this car for sale and it's not getting as much interest, but I did post it at a higher price than what I expected. So it's kind of was a shot in the dark. If anybody wanted to come pay for it or give me close enough to sell it, then I would. But so far, neither of my plans are working out, so we might be sitting this one out, boys. It's not the end of the world, though. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. If it's not, it's not. The car's already bid up to 10 grand. It has 4 days left, and then it will start the real auction. It's already at 10K, so that's quite high for the car and the condition. It's probably only like a 15,000 to 20,000 at the absolute max, only paying for it because I want the color and I'm just paying to pay. So probably not gonna work out, guys. Might not be the one for me, but it's okay. It's not the end of the world. I really want a clean red on red, and I want it to be the one that I keep forever and for good. So I don't want to really settle for less. So if the car looks like a piece of junk, then it is what it is. If I can get it for a good deal, I'll get it. Probably not. Don't expect it. So whatever, we took a little road trip in the M5, needed to get some miles put on it anyway. Not sure what's going on there, but the car needed some mileage, needed to be driven. It's been sitting, so it's good to put some miles on it and let the car breathe a little bit. But yeah, I'm also thinking it's probably not going to be what you guys want to hear. I might, if someone does, I'll leave this thing posted for sale. If someone does give me a good enough offer, I might end up just selling this and then patiently waiting for Emola Red on Emola Red one to pop up for sale. Sorry you guys have to go through this with me, but it's a journey. You guys are on it with me, and hopefully at the end of the day we get exactly what we want and we aren't settling for less. So let's get back to Vegas and get some stuff. He gave me, he ended up giving me some more parts to resell or to keep or to discard if nobody wants. Also now currently, I have E38 M parallels in my back seat. All right, I was in the middle of editing the actual video and I decided to film a little bit different of an outro. I didn't really clarify what happened with the Emola Red E39 M5. First, I want to apologize because I know this video has been all over the place and it has no format whatsoever. So I want to apologize for that. But as far as the M5 goes, it ran at auction for like 15,000, which isn't that much at all. That car I think is worth quite a bit more, but 15K was absolutely nothing for the actual mileage of the car. It was definitely a gamble with the unknown mileage, the condition of the car. Definitely looked like it had clear coat failure and it was taking pictures in the rain. So the rain actually helped the car completely. The interior looked very dry. It looked like it sat outside for the longest. But again, 15,000 isn't really that much for that car. Unfortunately, with the fees and everything else added onto it, I think the total was like 17 or 18,000, and it would have just been a giant risk. That's a lot of money for me. I don't have $20,000 to risk, and I don't want to risk $20,000. So if it's going to be a car I'm going to keep forever, I actually want to wait for the right one to pop up. So unfortunately, we let it go, man. There's so many cars I had to let go, but unfortunately, I'm just not there financially. But there's gonna be one coming up in the future. I know it. It'll happen. So we're gonna wait patiently. We'll see what happens. If anybody does end up buying the E39 M5, it probably won't take that long to replace it. I will buy something for the meantime, or I will replace it with an Emola Red E39 M5 as soon as one basically pops up for sale. So I just wanted to kind of get on here and show you. We can't have one in real life, so I guess we'll settle for E39 M5 in the game. It's something. I get to drive my dream car in one way or another. So that's about it for this video. I want to apologize for it being all over the place. I know it's kind of a pain to watch, but I appreciate every single one of you guys. I like making these videos for you, even if they are janky and kind of suck. So I appreciate you guys. My videos are as good as my cars. Not that good. So we're going to be back ASAP with some more content. I got some stuff editing for you guys right now, and it'll be uploaded as soon as it can be. So I appreciate every single one of you guys. We're going to go ahead and get out of here. Later, guys.